Serious, what will happen if a needle hit the Earth at the speed of light? This would not be possible, as an object with mass traveling at this speed would require infinite energy. It may be possible to accelerate an object to near light speed using astronomical amounts of energy, but not at the speed of light. Attempting to answer the question introduces false assumptions and workarounds that invalidate the calculations and make it meaningless, making it absolute science fiction. So on that basis it both annihilates the Earth and also disappears in a harmless puff of smoke. Both are equally correct answers. An iron needle weighing 1 gram traveling at 99.9999 the speed of light would strike the Earth with energy of about 200 million billion joules. That's the equivalent of around 4 or 5 of the largest nuclear bombs ever detonated, the Soviet Tsar Bomba, but concentrated in a far smaller area. A needle is really small. Think huge fireball, impact crater, a really bad time for anyone within maybe a half-day's drive of the impact site. Not an extinction level event, but thoroughly destructive of a huge swath of territory. Struck the Earth. Well, it wouldn't, because it would burn up in the atmosphere and, if it was a bigger object, would be slowed by the atmosphere. But, assuming it happened anyway, you'd have to wonder how it hit. If it hit straight on, wouldn't it penetrate until it burned up from the Earth's core? And if it hit the ocean straight on, wouldn't the water slow it until it fell lifeless onto the ocean floor? Maybe I just can't imagine speeds that fast. Wouldn't it get disintegrated before making through the atmosphere? After all, the mass is infinitely small for something that travels infinitely close to speed of light. The moment it has something to have friction with, it's going to melt. On second thought, I'm guessing from our perspective, it will just behave a massive bomb exploded in the sky. That energy has to go somewhere after all. There is a problem with at the speed of light because you can actually get a body with mass up to that speed. Physics doesn't allow it. If you go for near the speed of light, you can get a sense by reading the XKCD what if about a relativistic baseball. Here, for anything with mass to travel at the speed of light, it needs infinite kinetic energy according to our current understanding of physics. So not only would the Earth be destroyed, but likely there would be some kind of a vacuum decay that would end the observable universe as we know it. I would imagine the needle would, if by chance making it through the atmosphere, mainly cause an extreme transfer of energy, and there are PPL who can do the math, but it would be in the ballpark of like 2-3 times that of Tsar Bomba. I'm not sure how it's spelled. I don't think it would hit the planet. At that speed it would immediately turn into a plume of fusion energy as it strikes the atmosphere and is converted to energy. That energy then strike the planet like an airburst nuclear weapon, a very big one. Research tungsten rods from God. As these are calculated have about the same energy as a small tactical nuke at fraction of the speed, I'm not sure a needle would yield more, as obviously it would vaporize long before hitting the surface. It depends how close to the speed of light it gets. At light speed doesn't make sense really, because that would mean the needle would carry infinite mass. I don't know how big an infinite mass explosion would be, but it would be big. Speed of light mass becomes infinite. At this point, if the needle doesn't disintegrate going at that speed, the Earth is gonna experience one hell of a catastrophe. Might actually be the end of the world. Needle for speed. If it doesn't disintegrate, it would pass through. Mostly harmlessly, if it did not hit anyone or any object that could be damaged, say, a balloon. Source: anything but science. I think most of these comments are correct, but I think that a needle at high speed would cause such high temperatures in our atmosphere that it itself could catch fire and burn. I recall something saying that a grain of sand hitting the Earth at the speed of light would produce a nuke-like explosion. So I'd imagine much the same thing for a needle. I think I saw somewhere about that. It was a pebble though. But the mass should be similar. It caused the explosion the size of a nuke, I believe. The explanation is purely theoretical, since accelerating anything having mass to the light's speed will require infinite amount of energy. I don't know. But I do know as it hits Earth at the speed of light squared, there is going to be one hell of a big boom. XKCD did a comic about this very issue. It's fascinating, humorous and easy to read. The needle would by definition be made of massless particles, in order to be traveling at the speed of light. Either we would die infinite energy, or nothing would happen, something different we can't observe happens. I don't know, but seeing as it's 2024, please let's not wish this into existence. I'm happy not knowing. This guy's voice is kinda annoying, but this is what would happen. Recommend checking this out. To quote a lot of things, I will imagine vaporized in the atmosphere. What's a needle made of? Well, there'd be a needle really deep in the ground. For one thing, would need to be a pretty tough needle to survive entry. No object with mass can travel at the speed of light. Anything made of mass can't go the speed of light.